the major threat is the habitat because their farmers are farming their own crops in there. What would be the other? Are they still getting poached for for animal
Yes,
trade and stuff like that?
yes, yes. They're still being poached for animal trade. And so this, of course, is very, very hush hush, secretive
Sure.
work, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Because it's completely illegal to hunt, to kill, to torture, to bother orangutans.
Yeah.
They're protected
Yeah.
under Indonesian law.
Hmm.
But as you well know, there are people who thumb their nose at the law,
Sure.
and they're going to take a risk because they can still earn a considerable living if they can find an orangutan, a baby,
Hmm.
and get it to a harbor and have it shipped out to a foreign port
Yeah.
um, and sold on the black market. So this goes on even right now.
Yeah.
There's been recent articles in the paper or online talking about how easy it's been with some of these folks coming forward and turning and helping the government find the big people behind the scenes.
Yeah.
How do you do that? And it's
Yeah.
really difficult because it's as you know, wildlife trafficking is like
Yeah.
it's on par with illegal drug trafficking
Yeah.
and other forms of trafficking.
Absolutely. Yeah. With minimal risks at that end.
Minimal risk, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
So
very
so that's
unfortunate.
going on, Alex. You've got that. You've got
Yeah.
habitat destruction. You have also people being afraid or using that as an excuse to shoot them.
Yeah.
Some people actually do it for sport. Others do
Mm.
it. There are still people who hunt them to eat the flesh of an orangutan. Um, but the biggest threat is still, again, the destruction of the habitat and then the killing of the animals that are treed for like the trade, the illegal
Yeah.
trade, and also the competition that's going on, the increased competition amongst the orangutans for very little food that's left in the forest.
Yeah. It's very
Um,
true.
so it's all these combined are the reason why orangutans are still critically endangered.
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very important species that we need to continue and protect. For those folks that are home that are not able to go out to places like that, what are some of the things that they could possibly do from their own home or locally that they could help bring awareness to this cause?
There's so many things that the average person can do, and certainly we encourage people to learn more about orangutans. Every year there are events going on like International Orangutan Day.
Yeah.
In November we have Orangutan Caring Week that we created years ago. Um, so those are times where people can kind of maybe get a little more social media
Hmm.
input, learn more about orangutans that way. Um, we encourage people to, like we said before, shop with their with a conscious mindset about
Yeah.
what they're buying to ensure that it's not conflict palm oil or conflict products, whether it's wood or all types of different products. It's really important that we become more mindful consumers.
Right.
That to me is really, really important. The other thing you can do is you can support organizations like the Orangutan Republic
Hmm.
Foundation. We encourage people to look us on the website, check us out, make sure they have faith in what we're doing.
Absolutely.
I think good governance is important, and I've tried to improve that over the years, so that people can feel assured that when they give $10 or $100 or how much they want to give,
Right.
the money is going and being spent in the best way possible.
Yeah. Definitely.
Um, and then, if anybody's available to come to our fundraiser, our Pongo Awards in November, on
Oh.
November 13th, we're actually hosting an event. Here we go. You can go to pongoowards.org to learn more about it.
Okay.
We're really happy that the government of Indonesia is providing us with the venue.
Good.
The consulate in Los Angeles
Oh,
is
that's great.
is supporting us. They just renovated their auditorium, and we're looking forward to putting on our awards where we not only honor orangutan conservationists, but
Yeah.
environmental conservation
That's great.
across the book. And we're giving out 5 new Pongo Awards this year. In the past, we've given it to individuals like in the areas of technology. So,
Sure.
for example, Rainforest Connection that uses old cell phones to listen to the sounds of the forest and then use AI
Oh wow.
through the Google network to identify illegal, timber operations.
Really?
They received an award,
That's
and we're
amazing.
really proud about that. So we're looking at technology. We look at uh, also environmental
Hmm.
organizations. We look at environmental media, and we try to do a spread of awards each year.
That's great.
And so we'll have that going on, and we're going to be live streaming it
Oh,
as
good.
well as having a sit down event. But we certainly would like people to come
Definitely.
and be part of it.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
That'll be November 13th. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's that. You heard it, folks. In case you guys want to head out to an awards ceremony, it sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's going to be, we'll have Balinese dancing and gamelan music. So if anybody knows about Indonesia
Yeah.
and the culture, the tagline is well, it's respecting nature, celebrating the biodiversity and beauty of Indonesia. So we're going to have a lot of beautiful things, culturally beautiful.
That's awesome.
We're going to talk about the biodiversity, of
Yeah.
course, and we're going to be honoring some individuals and organizations for their outstanding achievements.
That's great.
So that's what we're going to do on November 13th. Anyway, check it out.
Yeah. That's great.
We'd love to see you there.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you very much for the invite. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's funny that you mentioned that because right before the whole pandemic started, we were planning on a trip to Indonesia. That was
Yep.
it's on my top of my list. It's been up there. I myself, love marine life like you, and we
Yep.
love to go scuba diving and
Yeah.
like to
Oh,
take eco-friendly trips as well. And um, that brings me along to my next question: is if what if certain people that would like to go and travel, how could someone do an ecological friendly travel trip to places like this and maybe see some of the orangutans?
yeah. Well, I can give you the best way to do it
Yeah.
because we work with our partner Orangutan Odysseys. Orangutan Odysseys, like so many of the other tour operators in Indonesia and around the world, have
Hmm.
suffered because of the pandemic.
Yeah, I could believe it.
Um, but they are monitoring the situation. They're looking to see what areas are opening up.
Hmm.
And I'm thinking next year. In fact, we have our twice postponed eco tour
Okay.
that we'll be hosting. We're actually hosting it and taking our signed up tourists to 4 orangutan viewing areas on the
Wow.
island of Borneo. We're looking forward to it because one of those areas I have never visited. But the teams are full already.
Okay.
But that shouldn't keep you from expressing an interest if you'd like to go with us because we may open up another
I would.
section.
I would definitely.
Yeah.
Please keep me in mind.
Yeah, and not only that, there are other tours being hosted by such orangutan experts like Leif Cox, who's the president of the Orangutan Project,
Okay.
and he's got several planned for next year. And again, all this is contingent on getting a hold on COVID and
Sure.
making sure that we can travel safe
Yeah.
because that's very very important.
Right.
The other thing I'll say about Orangutan Odysseys, they've been very good at helping local communities and the tour operators who have been hurting
Mm.
by doing fundraisers for food packages that go out to these villagers and these tour operators who just haven't had an income.
Yeah, I can
And
imagine that'd be difficult.
yeah, so everybody's like all hands on deck, helping out with the local people,
Yeah.
waiting for the situation to improve so they can get back to work, and we can take people like yourself,
Yeah.
and again walking gently, leaving footprints, and seeing some amazing sights because there's the orangutans, there's the biodiversity, and then there's the wonderful people that
Yeah.
you have to meet,
I
the
bet.
Dayak folks of East Kalimantan, where you'll have a chance to get to meet these villagers and just really experience the warmth of their
Yeah.
hospitality. I really look forward to going back out there,
Yeah.
and it would be great for a couple of people to, who are really are interested to sign up and join us.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a lot of fun. I mean, sign me up if you guys have a space open up, and definitely I'm in. My wife and I love to travel. We've been to the Amazon and done small trips like that with 2 or 3 people, and we've camped
Yeah.
out in the middle of the jungle for 4 or 5 days on hammocks. I have to say it's one of the best experiences I've ever had in my entire life. So that type of travel for me is amazing, and then especially if I'm able to do it with an organization and being able to actually help them out with that organization doing good things, then I'm all for it.
Well, we'd love to have you there. We're not going to be roughing it as much as you might have experienced in the past, because
It's okay.
most of our folks coming are probably, in their 50s and 60s and older. So we have to kind of make it comfortable. But
Sure.
I will say there are places along the way, and if you want to have a more rigorous type of an experience, Orangutan Odysseys can provide that.
Good to
So
know.
again, and they are connected with all of the available orangutan viewing areas, both in Indonesia and Malaysia.
Okay.
And so it's worth looking at their website as well.
Yeah.
But again, if you can get out there,
Yeah.
that is the best way to learn about the situation, to kind of viscerally take it all in. And I realize that not everybody can do that.
Sure.
It's financially a challenge, and it's of time, and it's sometimes not always pleasant
Yeah.
because you're in the tropical rainforests and it's hot, and it's but you know what? At the end of it all, people have these types of memories that they'll never forget, and
Yeah.
it becomes part of some of the best times of their lives
Uh,
when they talk about them.
I completely agree with you. Yeah, no, definitely. And like I said, the best travels that I've done is probably been out in the jungle. You would think it's like nothing luxurious, nothing. It's just you're in a completely different world that you've never seen in your entire life, and being able to look up in the stars at night in the jungle where there's no
Yeah.
light coming from the city. I mean, I don't think a lot of people really get to experience that. So it's very good for the soul, very good for the mind, and I always encourage people to, if you get to travel, please do, and if you can do it ecologically, friendly, then even better.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, and we only have so much time on this planet, and
yeah,
so the experiences we get like that are perhaps the most, I think, meaningful.
sure,
Um, it's you can go out to a movie, you can do this, you can do that. Yeah, we can do all that, but
sure,
to actually go into the heart of the rainforest,
yeah,
where our ancestors spent time, and where the biodiversity lives, and also keeping in mind that a healthy rainforest is something that we should all encourage,
yeah,
because some of these viruses that have emerged have come out of rainforests that have been impacted by humans,
yeah,
and we want people to understand it. So we want people to be safe, and we will certainly make sure that
sure,
our guests are safe as we go through this.
right,
But we want people to know that an experience in the rainforest is a life-changing experience, and it's worth taking once in your life at least.
I agree.
I've been fortunate to do it many times,
Yeah,
but and each time it's magical,
oh, it
so
is.
it never gets boring. And
Yeah, you see
I'm
so
hoping,
much.
yeah, I'm hoping to tell more about my time in the field when my book gets completed,
Oh, great.
which it's almost done. And I'm hoping by the end of the year we'll have a publisher, and I'll be able to make an announcement next year
That's
or
great.
later
Yeah.
this year.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, we'll definitely have to bring you back on, and so we can, chat about the book.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, some of the stories I mentioned to you came out of the book, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's I have to like refresh myself. The good thing was I kept a diary
Oh,
for
good.
2 years. Every single day I was out there,
Yeah.
and it was probably the most valuable data I collected.
Yeah, I
And
bet.
I collected lots of data on orangutans learning signs, and how they learned it, and the differences between individuals, all that.
Yeah.
And you can read about that in my dissertation. But actually the types of activities that I didn't even study, but that happened to me, the
Yeah.
most fascinating things, I would have forgotten them if I didn't put them down,
Right.
you know.
No, it's so true.
So yeah. Anyway, so that's I'm hoping that that will come out next year.
Good. Oh, that's good. So, are you working on any new studies? Are you planning on heading back to Indonesia to work on any new projects?
You know, we're going to continue doing what we're doing that we've got going with the
Mm-hmm.
foundation. As far as any like new projects that I'll be taking on, um, there are some possible ones that are kind of being developed, but
Good.
I wouldn't want to say anything right now.
Sure.
I don't want to jinx them.
Yeah,
Number one,
I hear you.
probably the most exciting thing I can tell you about is that we're hoping to be able to make a big announcement
Good.
at the event in November.
Okay.
We're working through the process with the government of Indonesia, and it involves a a really big tract of land that we're hoping to be able to announce
That's great.
that we'll be able to manage for a
Yeah,
long period of time
that's awesome.
and use to put orangutans back into the wild. But
That-
until we get the signature on the paper, I don't want to say too much more
Sure.
about it.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. It's funny because I was just talking to my brother about this the other day. About I was reading an article about how you can purchase land in the Amazon and be able to use it for ecological purposes, and and just have people like yourself out there, studying and building just a small area so that you don't impact the environment, but only use it just for that, which I thought that was pretty amazing that people are now able to purchase land in certain areas like that so they can continue protecting it so that they don't get purchased by big corporations and use it for farming.
Yeah, it's each country has its own laws on ownership.
Yeah.
Um, not every country allows for it. Indonesia, for example, does not allow for private ownership,
Mm.
especially by foreigners.
Yeah.
Local people can own like 20 hectares, but the large tracts are concessions given to corporations
Mm.
generally. And
Yeah.
this is the rub because many of the corporations they feel that a forest doesn't have value until you cut down the trees.
Of course.
And what we want is we'd like to make the case that maintaining the integrity of the forest for its ecological services
Yeah.
is $1 billion has value that will serve not just our generation but future generations.
Yeah, definitely.
And if you destroy that and turn it into a moonscape,
Yeah.
you've lost that value.
Right.
So, but I think there is an awakening amongst many of the government officials,
Good.
um, and certainly the president of Indonesia is far more knowledgeable and I think astute when it comes to this issue. And I'm really hoping that the right decisions will be made
Yeah.
regarding future development of rainforest um, for the people of Indonesia.
Wow.
I think they're planning, in fact, on moving the capital
Hmm.
of the capital functions, the government functions in
Mm-hmm.
Jakarta, to East Borneo, a new
Oh,
capital they've
really?
been planning on building, and they're claiming it's going to be a green capital.
Interesting.
And so it really remains to be seen
Yeah.
if they can pull this off. Of course, COVID has slowed things down,
Yeah.
but they've been talking about this since the days of the first president,
Yeah.
Sukarno, about moving the capital to Borneo. And it's just been a pipe dream pretty much
Yeah.
until President Jokowi has really made it a reality.
That's great.
And we may actually drive through that area on
Yeah.
our eco tour just to see what's out there as we go from one area to another.
Oh, good.
So that's another interesting maybe bit of information. I don't know exactly for sure because things are fluid
Yeah.
in terms of the itinerary,
Sure.
but I would like to see what has been done there.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And we know that there's no orangutans in that general area, so that's good. But at the same time, we got to think about the biodiversity as well.
Right.
So when the government talks about having a green capital, I would like to learn more about what they mean.
What?
And
Right.
yeah, and of course the devil is always in the detail.
Sure.
How are they actually going to implement this in a way that's not going to be
Impact.
destructive in a collateral way.
Right. Exactly. No, it's very
So,
true. No, very true. Very, very interesting. Well, I can't wait to hear more, and I can't wait to be able to get out there one day.
yeah, well, I know you will because you've got that passion, Alex,
Definitely.
and definitely, it's something that will be available next year
Great.
in a bigger way.
Awesome.
And I think the government of Indonesia is going to roll out the red carpet for tourism again.
That's good.
And ecotourism is a big part of it.
Yeah.
One
No.
that they're opening up the areas like the Komodo island chain. They would like to see more people go out there and see
Wow.
those amazing Komodo dragons. And
I'm there.
there's some beautiful, beautiful spots along the archipelago
Yeah.
worth visiting. And I've just had such wonderful experiences over the years. And I really treasure my time in Indonesia. And a lot of people know me as somebody who, in my heart, is probably more Indonesian than anybody else,
Yeah.
because I really want to keep that country, um, you know, biologically healthy, and for future
Right.
generations. So that's what drives me to do what I do.
That's great. Wow, that's really good to hear. No, well, I appreciate it, Gary, and thank you for coming on to the show and talking to us about all this great information. I definitely learned a lot, and I'd love to bring you back on once your book is done, and we can talk
Sure.
more about that, and then maybe we by that time we're getting closer to travel down to Indonesia and see some orangutans, and then we can figure out what the schedule's going to be like.
Yeah, stay healthy, stay fit. That's what I'm trying to do. I just turned 70 years old. You wouldn't believe it
Congratulations.
looking at me, but
It looks
I
great.
feel like a kid in his 50s, and I just hope that everything continues to be good, health wise. And again, that's all we can do is, protect ourselves and
Yeah,
make sure that because our health is the most important thing we have.
absolutely. Definitely. Well, thank you, Gary. You take care, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks, Alex.
All right.
Nice talking with you again. Good seeing you.
You too. Bye
Take
bye.
care.